Welcome to Local Experience. Today, we explore something most of us wear without much thought, clothes. But in some parts of the world, clothing is not just fashion or function. It's identity, history, and a biography written in fabric and thread. In this documentary, we travel through regions where your clothing tells others who you are, where you're from, how old you are, your marital status, your tribe, and even your social role. From the Andean highlands to West Africa and beyond, these are places where every stitch has meaning. A thread of identity in the Andes. Let's begin in the Andes Mountains, where the Quechua and Aymara people have worn textiles rich in meaning for centuries. In the high-altitude villages of Peru and Bolivia, clothing is a living language. The patterns, colors, and materials of a person's outfit can tell you what village they come from, whether they're single or married, and even what kind of work they do. The montera, a traditional hat worn by Quechua women, changes shape and decoration depending on the wearer's age and community. The licla, a rectangular woven cloth used as a shawl or baby carrier, is often adorned with symbols representing nature, animals, or spiritual beliefs. Each garment is made using ancestral techniques. Women spin alpaca wool by hand, dye it using local plants and minerals, and weave with backstrap looms, a slow, deliberate process that embeds the weaver's story into the cloth. Here, clothing is heritage you wear. And because many women make their own clothes, their garments are both personal statements and communal narratives. Kente cloth, the royal fabric of West Africa. Thousands of miles away in Ghana, a single piece of cloth can speak volumes. Kente cloth is one of the most famous and symbolic textiles in the world. Originating from the Ashanti and Yu peoples, Kente is woven on narrow looms using silk or cotton threads. The resulting strips are sewn together to form the final fabric. But Kente is not just beautiful, it is symbolic. Each color represents something. Gold equals wealth and royalty, blue equals peace and harmony, red equals sacrifice and struggle, and green equals growth and renewal. Likewise, each pattern has a name and a meaning. Ebon, for example, features a house motif and symbolizes safety and protection. Inkayan Kim symbolizes life's twists and turns. Traditionally, Kente was worn by royalty and spiritual leaders during sacred ceremonies. Today, it is also used in graduations, weddings, and political events, moments of pride and identity. To wear Kente is to tell the world what you value, where you stand, and who you walk with. Hmong embroidery, history in needlework. Now let's travel to Southeast Asia, where the Hmong people of Vietnam, Laos, China, and Thailand use clothing to carry history. Each Hmong subgroup has distinct styles of clothing, often identified by their embroidery, colors, and headgear. But beyond appearance, Hmong textiles serve as silent documentation. During times of persecution, the Hmong were not allowed to write down their language, so they developed a way to embroider their stories into their clothes. Known as story cloths, these pieces narrate ancestral journeys, legends, and historical trauma, all without a single word. A woman's clothing may indicate her clan, region, and even her mother's embroidery style. And because the tradition is passed down from mother to daughter, it becomes both a personal and generational art form. Here, clothing is more than a canvas. It's an archive. The batik of Java, layers of meaning. In Indonesia, batik is not just a technique, it's a worldview. Recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity, batik involves wax-resist dyeing, where wax is applied to cloth to create intricate patterns. Each region in Java has its own motifs. In Yogyakarta, the parang design represents waves and power. In Solo, floral batiks symbolize harmony and grace. But what's more fascinating is how batik was once used as a coded language of status and occasion. Certain patterns were reserved only for nobility. Others were worn only during funerals or births. Wearing the wrong batik at the wrong time could be seen as a grave insult. Even today, Indonesians often choose batik prints that reflect their mood, their respect for an event, or their spiritual beliefs. In modern Indonesia, batik is still worn in parliament, on natural holidays, and at family ceremonies. This isn't just decoration, it's diplomacy in dye. The kimono, elegance with embedded messages. In Japan, the kimono is perhaps one of the most instantly recognizable traditional garments in the world, but what many don't realize is just how coded it is. The fabric, pattern, sleeve length, and even how a kimono is folded all communicate something. Long sleeves, furisode equals unmarried woman. Short sleeves equals a married woman. White equals mourning. Cranes or pine trees equals longevity and fortune. Kimonos are also seasonal. Cherry blossoms in spring, maple leaves in autumn. Wearing the wrong motif out of season is seen as lacking awareness. While daily kimono wearing has declined, the meanings remain. Today, kimonos are worn at tea ceremonies, weddings, and holidays, and each time, they still speak without words. To wear a kimono properly is to participate in a centuries-old conversation. Clothing as resistance, the Sami people of Northern Europe. In the Arctic regions of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia, the Sami people wear the gakti, a traditional garment that signals cultural pride and resistance. Historically marginalized and assimilated, the Sami have fought to preserve their identity. The gakti, with its bright colors, intricate embroidery, and specific cuts, varies depending on the region and family. A gakti tells you which reindeer herding district someone belongs to, their marital status, and even whether they're in mourning. In recent decades, the gakti has become a symbol of reclaiming heritage. It is worn proudly at protests, cultural events, and indigenous summits. Clothing, in this case, becomes an act of political and spiritual survival. When fashion becomes law, the Kalasha of Pakistan. In the remote valleys of Chitral, Pakistan, the Kalasha people are known for their distinctive black robes embroidered with vibrant colors and beads. The headpiece worn by Kalasha women, called kupas, is adorned with shells, buttons, and coins, each element tied to family history, marriage status, and blessings from ancestors. For the Kalasha, clothing is sacred. When outsiders began mimicking their style for tourism or fashion, community elders issued guidelines to protect the meanings behind their dress. The fabric of humanity. Across the world, clothing is far more than protection from the elements. It is language, status, story, and spirit. In places where oral tradition is dominant, textiles have carried the weight of entire civilizations. When you see someone wearing traditional dress, you're not just looking at fabric, you're looking at a living document, a textile autobiography. In modern cities, we may choose what we wear based on fashion, comfort, or trend. But in many communities, your clothing tells people who you are before you even speak. At Local Experience, we believe these stories deserve to be seen, heard, and remembered. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we uncover more layers of the human experience.